Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Goalside. One of the biggest worries in the footballing world currently is what will become of the top tier of the beautiful game once Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi retire. We're talking about the top tier, where players such as Zlatan, Neymar, Griezmann, and Mbappe have been at some point, but who haven't truly touched the stats or level of play that both the Argentine and Portuguese superstars have reached in their careers. Among the scariest thoughts that linger in the minds of football fans is the idea that we may never see players that good ever again, or at least for a long time, and that the general quality of football will diminish once they hang up their boots. In fact, even as this video is being produced, both Messi and Ronaldo have begun to show dips in their level. Lionel Messi has currently been out for quite a while with an injury, now unable to maintain his previous levels of fitness and availability for FC Barcelona at a time when they really need their captain. Meanwhile, Cristiano Ronaldo's form has never been the same since leaving Real Madrid for Juventus, and it seems that he's slowly becoming immortal once again. Thankfully, however, there is one player who, quietly but very efficiently, is growing his skill level at a rate which even the higher tiers of footballers would envy, rapidly gaining experience at a competence level and threatening to break through into one of the biggest teams in the world, Real Madrid CF. This video will be about Takefusa Kubo, one of the current biggest young talents in the world, coined the Japanese Messi by the worldwide press and by many fans across the globe, and one of the infamous group of players to have played for both the huge Spanish rivals FC Barcelona and Real Madrid. To begin, this wonderful player is someone you may not have heard of yet. Don't be ashamed if this is the case. With everything else going on in the football world and all the money being thrown around each summer, the fact that Real Madrid's 2019 summer transfer window included the signing of this player on a free transfer from FC Tokyo may have flown under your radar, but it may come to be one of the biggest signings in a long time for Los Blancos. Born June 4, 2001, in the Asoku ward of the industrial city of Kawasaki, Japan, Takefusa fell in love with football at a young age, finding himself training hard to become a big name in his nation and one day reach the Japanese national team. You see, it is only in the past few decades that Japan has seriously begun to think of their chances to develop as a footballing nation, and having been born just 1 year before the 2002 World Cup took place in his country, Takefusa, an only child from a middle-class family who knew that his natural talent could be exploited, was captured by the widespread feeling that Japan was destined to be one of the next great nations of football. By the age of 7, young Kubo began to polish his game by playing with his local club, FC Persimmon, where he showed his first signs of talent. It was still early days, but the young boy already had an excellent left foot when it came to taking accurate and powerful shots, and he was extremely good at making use of space. Only 1 year later, in 2009, he was accepted into the youth side of Tokyo Verdy, the most successful team in Japanese football history, receiving an invitation not long after to participate at FC Barcelona's soccer camp, where he played for the franchise team in Japan and earned himself a wonderful MVP award for his immense performance. His growth continued, and so did the recognition towards him by coaches. Only a few months later, in 2010, FC Barcelona decided to include him in a youth team which would travel to Belgium to participate in the Sodexo European Rusas Cup, where he again won an MVP award, despite his team having finished third in the competition. All of these amazing performances led the hype to grow back home, and it wasn't long before a new club was interested in having him play for them, Kawasaki Frontale, a side in the J1 League, the top division across the Japan Professional Football League, decided to include Kubo in their youth team and continue to develop the kid, and it would certainly pay off for him to accept. Thing is, most players typically would have taken a bit of time to grow at Frontale, finding their way to a medium-sized club in Europe first before taking the huge leap to a big club, but not Takefusa. For him, there was no real ceiling to his talent, and while playing at Kawasaki Frontale, he received an invitation that was impossible to refuse. FC Barcelona's youth academy, the famous La Masia, were after him, and they wanted him to have a trial with them immediately. It was an offer that any young footballer would accept in a heartbeat, and young Kubo traveled to Spain with his parents to show the coaches of La Masia what he was made of. It was a complete success. Kubo began playing for Barça 11C, one of FC Barcelona's under-11 squads, immediately after passing the trial. His first season, 2012-13, was also an incredible accomplishment. At the young age of 11, he scored a magnificent 74 goals in just 30 games, despite the fact that he wasn't even a forward, but instead a midfielder who liked attacking the opposing team's back line. His success led him to be promoted to Barca's under-14 squad, but tragedy struck. FC Barcelona was found to be violating FIFA's transfer policy for under-18 players, and Kubo was one of the players they had signed illegally. After a tough decision from the Global Football Association and months of waiting to see what would happen next, he realized that his time at FC Barcelona had come to an abrupt end as he returned home to Japan. But he wouldn't lack for suitors in the Japanese Football League. Didn't take long for FC Tokyo to secure his services, and this time it would be for the best. Joining FC Tokyo's under-18 team in 2016, he was promoted to the senior side only months later. Remember, he's only 15 at this point. When he made his professional debut, he broke the record as the youngest player to ever do so in the J-League. Didn't take him long to break another record, becoming the youngest player to score in the J-League on April 15, 2017, when he scored the winner of a 1-0 win over Cerezo Osaka's under-23 side. By this point, he had been playing for Japan at the under-15, under-16, and under-17 levels, scoring 14 goals in 24 matches. Not bad for a right midfielder. After receiving an upgrade on his pay and playing more games with the first team, Kubo was informed that he would be loaned to Yokohama F. Marinos for half a year. Took him less than 90 minutes to score, with the goal coming on his debut against Vissel Kobe. Coaches in Japan and La Masia alike were amazed by his drive, his determination, and the incredible skill which he possessed. First of all, it seems as if the ball was glued to his feet, as his ball control combines extremely well with his dribbling, creating a player that is almost like Messi in that he very rarely loses the ball when running or dribbling past opposing players. Furthermore, according to La Masia coach of 10 years, 2007 to 2017, by the name of Oscar Hernandez, Kubo has three big qualities that are always desirable in a young player. He possesses super fast decision-making in dangerous situations. He can create space for teammates with ease thanks to his instinctive movement, and he has insane speed, with an eye for open spaces that very few of his teammates ever had. Hernandez also added that the player is significantly versatile as well, always looking to move around on the pitch from midfield to wing, moving in to cut inside, but also seeking to run ahead as a center forward to score important goals. Continuing to grow as a player, now having returned to FC Tokyo in early 2019, a series of rumors began to reach him from far away. Apparently, the biggest clubs in Europe were circling him with hopes of landing his signature, and it was only a matter of time for him to find a new home in one of the big leagues in the old continent. But it all came down to what he felt deep down in his heart. There was a certain level of bitterness held towards FC Barcelona for what had happened before. He'd been happy there, familiar with the club, the city, and the language, and hoped to have a career at the club and grow alongside such stars as Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Gerard Piqué. But they had let him return to Japan without so much as a thank you. Filled now with his justified rage, Kubo looked beyond every single one of the big teams after his signature on their contract and saw only one club to join: the 13 times European champions, Real Madrid. Wasn't just a move that would give him great exposure to the press and the footballing world, but also one that would lead him to improve immensely as a football player. On July 14, 2019, Kubo was signed by the Spanish giant. Real Madrid paid over €2 million for his signature, and he was provided an annual pay of over €1 million. This was huge for the young man, and it came simultaneously alongside an excellent time in the CONMEBOL Copa America 2019, where he impressed in Japan's 4-0 defeat against Chile, weaving past experienced defenders and midfielders with an ease that should have embarrassed them. After all, he was just a boy in an inexperienced squad. And while it may still be early to judge him, since he's only just begun to play with Real Madrid's B-sides and now been sent to Mallorca on a season-long loan, Takefusa seems ready to become the next Japanese legend in European football, perhaps creating an opportunity for players of his ethnicity to start showing Europe, the Americas, and Africa that football is just as amazing in Asia as it is everywhere else. What this young Japanese star is doing is pioneering work. Perhaps it is time for Real Madrid's first team to learn of this self-assured, dangerous, and very skilled player who may just inject more life into a first team that doesn't look as strong as usual this season. Hopefully, his quest to bring a new, improved reputation to Japanese football will be the reason why you football fans continue to keep a close eye on him and hope he's given all the chances he needs. It may pay off to see this Japanese superstar live up to the potential which surrounds him. In a final note to this insightful video on the incredible rise of young Takefusa Kubo, we must apologize to him for using his nickname of the Japanese Messi, which has been so overused by the media. The young man has confessed to journalists in past interviews that he does not want to be seen as a Messi. "I'm not Messi," he's told them. "He's him, and I'm me." A very emphatic message from the young player who could be the superstar of the next two generations, we must say. We hope you like this video on Takefusa Kubo and understand now why he's receiving so much hype from journalists, fans, and footballers across the world. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content. We'll see you here next time on Goalside.